I, in theory, it could work out, but the level of execution needed is quite high right here. So we'll see if these 2 weeks and all that practice has Kralix prepared to make the Vigar shine.
Well, we have seen Impunity improve on their teamwork over the course of the split, and even coming into the start of it, compared to their iteration last year, we were always talking about how this team had better play together, if you will, even if they aren't all in the same physical location. Let's take a look at our Summoners and Runes and Masteries and all that good stuff to start us off today. You do see that not anything too surprising, although, I mean, normally I wouldn't see a Vigar in the support position, but I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Semi-tank Vigar just to get over the laning phase. The 2v2 still could be pretty dangerous, especially early on. You don't really get that event horizon. You do get it early on the Vigar, but you can't really expect to land a lot of these skill shots here.
Oh, we got level 1!
And as I say that, Taco just shoots one straight in the face of Kino here. And I like this idea. In Impunity, they are definitely aiming for a split map angle. They want to have the potential to dive this bottom lane potentially early on. So I like this. But it seems like Beyond Gaming are trying to fight for the vertical.
Yeah, this is interesting right now. Red buff is going to get started by the 3-stack, and Wako jumps in. Would love to get an early kill on that Zeri, so we're straight up fighting for this one. Faith also looks to cut off Minji, and Red buff's just going to reset. Nobody's in the lane except the top laners on a full island here, and Impunity haven't really been able to find much. I think they're just going to bail out and let the full reset happen.
Well, Taco's still staying around to deny the 1v1. At the very least, he can't let the enemy jungle just straight up start red. It would be a massive advantage on their part. So, even though they don't get the vertical, they do slow down the jungle pathing a little bit. They get vision on this one. It's not a terrible situation, though they do lose a couple of seconds on the pathing. I still like the idea overall, but Beyond Gaming, I think, with the correct idea that Impunity were not going to go all in for that one.
Yeah, good read on that. So we kick things off. A little bit of a farm advantage just based on the early times to get back here. And Kralix does find a nice early stun on Kino. It's a good pokey lane. They are going to try and get that Jinx as fed as possible. And putting all the chips down on Blaze, I think, is a strategy that coming into the season, we kind of expected to see even more from Impunity. But clearly, he has been one of the better players on this squad. I would argue Quiet probably has shown a little more consistency there, but maybe a little bit harder to try and snowball in the meta where hyper carries are still the #1 contested pick.
No, I feel like Blaze in teamfights has been nothing but spectacular. The question is just about the laning phase. Their bottom lane has been, honestly, I think the weakest bottom lane in terms of stats outside of probably Sem9. So it's been really rough. They're down about 1,000 gold at 15 minutes. But if they can actually have a good early game, I think that changes the calculus quite a bit. So I do expect... Ooh, Blaze gets caught, though.
Yeah, forced to flash away already. Didn't actually burn his cleanse, and they will try to turn some damage here. Kino actually taken very, very low. Wako straight up in the cage, but he's completely isolated. Ooh. He's forced to flash back. That actually ends up being a worthwhile trade for Impunity.
Really nicely done on the back end for Impunity right there. But we do have Lee Sin down there as well, so they will have to back off right after this one.
Okay, spear dodged out by Minji. Well, Quiet, taking a little low here. Gotta be careful, buddy. Holding on to his flash if he would need it, but Liang is going to chase him away. The hammer is mightier than the shotgun.
Nicely done here by Liang. Quite also very low on the mana right here. Kralix does have the flash, but I don't think he's going to go for this one just yet. And yeah, we do go into a reset situation with Impunity looking to stop these backs. Ooh.
Did stop it back, didn't hit the damage, but yeah, those spears, you start thinking, if that lands, if that connects, does Taco want to go in for the dive? Looking to try and push this wave in. Wako is a little bit low, but so is Blaze, curiously enough. So keep your eyes on Taco as he makes his way back up to the mid lane. Minji, though, sitting pretty under tower. These are two pushing lanes right now for Impunity, and they have options. Not something we usually say as Rune Prison goes down. Minji flashes, tries for the outplay here as Faith tanks 2 tower shots. But he's going to be out. Meanwhile, back in bot. Okay.
don't have a kill there either. Just taking a look at the summoners, Impunity, they don't burn anything, and Husha, he is starting to fall behind. He spent so much time trying to equalize the bottom lane and make sure they don't die out that he is going to fall behind in camps. And if you look on the side of Impunity for Taco, he still has a lot of camps to go to. So, you know, even though that was the chase down that seemed to be a winning trade for Beyond Gaming, we have to take the jungle into consideration. Ooh, as we are.
Gotta take the top lane as well. Oh no, knockback Quiet trying for the outplay. Needs another auto, and he gets it and burns the flash of Liang as well. Impunity opening up with the kill.
I feel like Liang thought he was playing with Phase Rush. He was trying to get the knockback on Quiet back into the tower, but there was no speed up right there, and Quiet able to kite out for the solo kill. That was also a fight that Liang, you know, he actually went for that himself. He, it wasn't necessary for him to go all in, but he thought that he had the angle, didn't find the correct knockback, actually took Quiet outside of the tower range, and Quiet just turns around with the beautiful kill. We'll watch that again. Oh, Liang even burns his shock blast cooldowns right here. He's looking for the angle, but doesn't find it. Yikes.
Oh, and man, and then Liang, when he's already too deep, he burns the flash, thinks he can get out. That's insult to injury, but it is looking great for Impunity up in that top side. We did mention Quiet as being a player that should be able to take the 1v1 up against Beyond's top split pusher. Oh boy. 2 pushing lanes in a first blood. Not a bad start here for Impunity.
Yeah, and if you're Impunity, you have to feel so happy about this start. The last time, the first time they faced Beyond Gaming, it was a 23-minute affair where the lanes just kind of collapsed early on. This is a completely different story. As we talked about, the biggest weakness for Impunity has just been laning phase. They're actually fine in terms of macro. I feel like their macro is actually a lot better than Meta Falcon team, in all honesty. I feel like they make a lot of sense. In terms of their rotations and where they put their players. They are much more of a veteran team compared to Meta Falcon. So I think this is great for Impunity. The mid-game to look forward to. They still have a lot of very strong periods right here. We're looking at the next potential play. Will just be that Realm Warp onto the back of the bottom lane. You put the event horizon down. It's basically open season for Faith to find those overloads, for the Javelin tosses to land, and that's coming up very, very soon. We already have Faith at level 7, and Minji at this point still doesn't really have the threat over in the mid lane.
Yeah, now to try and cut that off, I think Husha, hanging around here towards the bottom, actually going to go into Taco's jungle. Does have a level advantage on the Nidalee, and if they don't spot this out, we could be in for a bit of a dive. In fact, I don't think they do. Wako baiting this. He does get stunned, immediately cleanses, and in comes Husha to the back. They take down Blaze, get the stun off onto Kralix. Should be looking at a second kill here for Wako, and he does. But what can Taco get back? The answer is nothing. Oh boy, he might lose on this one. Oh dear.
Oh, they
there we
still
go,
find
the
the stun?
flash, everything. Ultra Shock, he managed to get a little bit of extra damage there on the ult. Dodges out another Javelin, and both get away with that one, but Beyond Gaming pull off a really nice back of the lane behind the tower dive.
Yeah, absolutely insane stuff right there. Taco was on the right side of the map, but was unable to interfere, and this is sort of the problem I was talking about running the Nidalee against a Lee Sin. A level 6 Lee Sin can actually just do that to Nidalee, because you don't have to respect the Nidalee. You win the 1v1 100% of the time, like if you find the Nidalee. So he's just willing to go for a super risky route. He dodges across most likely the pink ward that they know they're there, and they don't understand that Wako is baiting. That was some, that was probably the most telegraphed bait I've seen from Wako, but it works. And they get Impunity members to stay around regardless. This is just an extra flash burn on the side. Meanwhile, Minji might be in some trouble.
Yeah, he could be right now as Kralix and Taco actually roaming in there. Husha a little bit late to that party. Minji already down to half health, and Sonic Wave misses, but the Zenith Blade doesn't, and that Vigar is stopped up for days. Going to go down, and it lands into Minji's pocket as well. Beyond our finding openings here, and what were we saying about the laning phase, Clement?
I feel like that laning phase edge is pretty much gone. I feel like Impunity's strategy right now is a bit in tatters. They can't really force a kill onto the top side, not with this setup. And if the Vigar doesn't work, as we said, it does start to snowball quite negatively. So,
oh dear! Oh no, they sniffed a little too far forward. They're going to lose at least one, maybe even more. Quiet's coming late, and what is going on? Impunity they're just making bad decision after bad decision.
Yeah, Kino even able to intercept that one. A really good prediction on the support's end. And I'm not really sure what the plan was for the two-man engage right there. They hand over extra kills to Beyond Gaming. You can't do that if you're going up against Akali, you know? Akali's definitely a champion. If you can keep her down, then she kind of fades from existence. But feeding her kills like this will be very dangerous, and Quiet is next on the table.
Oh, talk about getting baited. He flashes forward, and he's going down. They didn't even need Husha. He must have seen him coming there. And, oh dear. 5 kills for Beyond Gaming, Clement. After the first blood, 5 go back unanswered, and it seems like that was all it took to wake Beyond up.
Quiet really needed the collateral damage to go off right there. Because the minion wave was untouched, that's just a straight tower, and Impunity are forced to hard trade into this bottom side. You can see the pings going down. They know that Faith has to come down and equalize this push, but can they find a surround? Minji's already around with 2-0-0 on the kill board, and yeah, Faith just can't walk past the Akali to make this play happen.
Taco just hasn't been landing these spears. I mean, you have to make those things count. Sure, there's the good old zoning spear, but if it's dodged that easily, you're just not a huge threat. There's not a lot of CC coming in from the jungler, so you can keep your eyes on the Vigar and wait for that cage to come through. Shelly finishes off the tower up top for Beyond Gaming, and they just get a couple of plates in answer. Meanwhile, Blaze even takes a tower shot off that, or at least some auto hits, and it's just, this investment's not paying off.
Yeah, it's been one tower play for a full top lane tower. Definitely not what they wanted to see here, and we see at 11 minutes, Impunity already facing a 3,000 gold deficit. I don't feel like this is a comp that actually has that good of a mid-game identity. This comp is definitely much more about just equalizing the top solo lanes and trying to punish the bottom lane to the maximum effect. So, unfortunately, I feel like Impunity just will be sort of lost in these next couple of minutes. They don't really have a composition that can fight for Drakes in this situation. I feel like they just have to wait until Beyond Gaming ventures into their own jungle and hopefully punish them with their chain CC.
That is a very specific win condition. Unfortunately for Impunity right now, they really give themselves a hard time by just falling for a series of baits and just getting run around the map a little bit. We do have a Cloud Rift as the Infernal goes down in favor of Beyond Gaming. There's our gold graph right now. It started out pretty decent, but things fell apart pretty quickly once Beyond cottoned on to what their opponents were trying to do. Unfortunately, the early game strat just hasn't paid dividends here. Now, Taco, runs straight into Husha and Kino, who are just running rampant in this jungle, and then Italy does not have a whole lot of answers at the moment.
Oh, he still gets the
does
blue?
actually steal the blue. Okay, that was pretty cool. I'll give you style points, Taco.
He does lose the jungle control, but hey, he gets the objective in the end, so...
That's the moral victory.
Exactly, really well done. And I like what Impunity are doing. At least they're trying to force some trades. They know the bot lane is a lost cause, so they will go top against Liang. But Liang's actually spotted this. They have the wards, and Liang is just trying to bait for as long as possible.
Okay, and the Solar Flare lands down. Husha looking for the kick, does actually find it into the wall, but Husha bit off a little more than he could chew, and here comes Faith. Now maybe they can get them on this one as the Realm Warp comes in. Kino will be the one that gets left behind, and they do claim 2 kills back, as Impunity have shown they've still got some teeth.
That was a great play coming in from Faith. He was able to cut off so many points with his teleport and his Realm Warp. He cuts off the escape route back through the tower and then Realm Warps to the left side to make the trap work. So really nicely done right here, and it's just such a smart fake out from Faith. He actually goes top lane. He shows on the ward, but is still able to make the play bot. So that's basically one Rise in 3 positions on the map at the same time. Really nicely done by Faith over here. You could say that Husha forced this a little bit too hard. Just a little bit, I think is
got a little overhyped, but there's a lot that's been happening since then. Taco just getting chewed through by Wako here, and that is going to be at least 1 kill. Kralix a little bit low, and they go in once more for for Blaze as he tries to get the outplay. Doesn't manage to do it, but they're still playing for this one. Wako's really feeling himself on this area right now, and look at those low health bars as Blaze and Kralix are trying to dance, but Leon goes to the skies to take him out, and that Vigar is not long for the Rift. Beyond Gaming are just playing with their food a little bit here as they will take another tower. It's just been an absolute bloodbath in this bottom lane.
Yeah, most critically, they don't find any of the major bounties on the side for Impunity. We still have Minji and Wako with 0 deaths here, so the trade still goes into the favor of Beyond Gaming. Wyatt will get a lot of resources, but I just feel like this composition it's rather difficult for him to do much. Like, he's going to get outranged. There's an Akali there that could snipe him down quite easily. So the gold on the Graves isn't all that effective. We're going to take a look at what transpired before this play. It just seems like Taco going back to their main game plan and trying to shut down Wako, try to get plays fed. And this is a 3v1 tower dive that they don't fully commit to because of the members roaming in. Taco just, well, he just gets left out. That's definitely a animal abuse right there. They just let their pet cat to die.
That's some big game hunting though for the Zeri, and you see Wako looking for even more off the back of it. I like how we were starting to go into a live look and seeing maybe a fight unfold, but it just was like a quick kill, and we were just like, nah, it's not worth it. We don't need to show that. Replay's more important.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's 9-4 in kills, Clement. It's a 4,000 gold lead for Beyond. I mean, they're looking pretty comfortable here. The carries have exactly what they need. They've got a little bit of a lead in some of these items right now, or at least they will soon enough. They certainly have it in the gold at the moment. And Minji and Wako have just had a great game for themselves, despite the early seeming like they were getting set behind. Liang is going to be caught in the Vigar cage, and Taco jumps in, does go down. A good shutdown lands into the pocket of Blaze right now. That's going to be Kino and Wako running for the hills. Wyatt's going to join up too, and it's an Impunity 5-stack.
That's some old man Flash coming in from Liang. Actually flashes on top of the cage, gets stunned anyway, and falls down to his death. So a little bit unfortunate right there. Again, it's good stuff for Impunity, good trade for them, but it's not on the key members with the bounty golds right here. And in the meantime, we still have a Herald going over towards the side of Beyond Gaming.
Beyond are a team that really like to split and do a lot of different things, right? I mean, this is one of the things we've criticized them for, but it's also one of the things that is a strength of theirs. They can get a lot done on the map at the same time. They just get stretched a little thin, and Impunity do find an opportunity to get a kill as a result. And ooh, Wako and Blaze trading a little bit of lightning there. Ultra Shock Laser.
This is something we do have to watch for, is that Impunity do have the ability to just outright burst one target. If they can land the Event Horizon onto Wako, they can follow up very easily with the Javelin Toss, with the Primordial Burst to just kill one target. And I think that's how Impunity have to go into these team fights. I like the concave that they're setting up, but they have to be careful that Kralix cannot be caught out. If Kralix is forced to use his abilities on Kino, then that doesn't work.
And the fight opens up right now. They actually do find the route down onto Kino, and Blaze is completely isolated. That's not what you want to see with your AD carry. So they lose one quickly, as well as the Dragon. Taco just can't find the spears he was looking for, and that's going to be a Herald popped in the mid lane. The siege has begun here, Clement. Liang looking around the side, trying to find an opener to soften them up. They will be able to take the tower down, looking for the chase, and Liang goes to the skies. Taco turns him back, but not for long. The cage comes down, but it's just too little. It's just too late. And Beyond Gaming are controlling the tempo. Taco getting hammered into oblivion. And another auto attack is all Liang needs to actually do it. A big shock blast into the Zeri ultimate. And they've opened season on the last few members of Impunity, starting on this inner tower. Gonna have to walk away from it, but it is a massive lead for Mega Bank Beyond Gaming.
Yeah, unfortunately for Impunity, they do sort of bundle their best chance at getting back into this game right here. I love the positioning from Kino. He was able to stand his ground, walk forward, and basically split apart the sea of Impunity members. And I think, unfortunately, Impunity went the wrong way. They tried to go over and converge on Kralix, and they left their main damage source, Blaze, completely open. Minji gets the freest solo kill of his life. And that's just a 5v4 into the fight. Jace at this point does a ton of damage. There aren't a lot of tanky members that can take Shock Blast or even just take one for the team on the side of Impunity, so they're not going to be able to survive these siege situations. And now we have Zeri in full force. This is the most scary part about Zeri, and why she is almost perma-banned even through all of the nerfs. If she gets ahead with her mobility, she's just too hard to kill. I also love the build right here. We have seen some Zeris just go for the traditional crit build, but when you're facing the burst potential coming in for Impunity, I think going for the Titanic Hydra and picking up the extra HP is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, give yourself a little bit of heft for sure. And yeah, this area is going to be able to snowball, going to be able to get a lot done on those side lanes as well. And Waco's going to be having one heck of a game here. Let's see, Minji, he's a little isolated as they try to get a kill onto him, but Faith's not really close enough to take him down. And Taco has not been that accurate on these spears, so I do worry a little bit if that Twilight Shroud goes down. Here's the dodge, turns in, dashes. Ooh, talk about some perfect execution. Minji is out scot-free.
And on the other side, this will be a tower being taken down. I like that Impunity are constantly trying for comeback mechanics, but hey, if those don't work out, you do get punished onto the flip side. There's no real chance of defending this one, and Minji will go straight back to split pushing. Beyond Gaming, I think they're very comfortable at just taking this in a 1-3-1 fashion. They don't have to group. Both of these side lanes are very far ahead at this point. And it's up to Impunity to find the perfect engage. The classical answer to a 1-3-1 is you want to engage on the 3 members that are trying to defend the mid.
Yeah, but you got to be careful if you do that and you get stiff-armed. You don't want to lose out on the towers. I suppose the silver lining is they've already lost all of their side lane towers, so they technically can't lose anything except their base, right, Clement? That's how that works.
Yeah, it's exactly how that works. It means that Beyond Gaming are easier to punish, but at the same time, it also means that it will be difficult for them to hold on to their jungle. This could be their chance, though.
Okay, it's a 1v1, though, and there is a level advantage for Quiet, but he kind of mis-executes a bit. A pair of teleports coming in. Quiet already taken down a little bit low as he goes back on the collateral. Faith is there, and so is Minji, and they actually both back away. So teleports burned on both sides. We'll see if that's going to make a huge difference in the next couple of minutes. We do have another dragon spawning in about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Chasing down Husha. No spear.
Still some really good chances for Faith to make these collapses. I think once he has the stasis down, we could be seeing very daring attempts to catch out Waco. You can go into the back line, he gets the Rune Prison, even if he takes a ton of damage, he can just stasis up, and that could be a potential way that Impunity will catch people out. I feel like there's definitely a chance for them to get a couple kills onto Waco, get a shutdown, and try to take the game for there. The only, I think Beyond Gaming, what they're playing for right now is not necessarily for the kills. It's just pushing Impunity to the brink in terms of shoving them into their own base and then turning around towards the Baron. That's kind of the game plan for Beyond Gaming right now. And to be honest, this early on, it still gives a lot of opportunities for Impunity to kind of punish.
It does, but you got to be careful not to get bursted, though. You can see that Shock Blast clipped Blaze and does just so much damage to him. You got the Phantom Dancer as well, trying to play a little more defensively there. And Husha does find all 5 members of Impunity, and Liang does as well. Again, this Jace is starting to sting. Kino gets caught, flashing forward. They get the baby cage down. Should be able to lead him, but wait just a minute. Here comes Minji and Waco. The cavalry have arrived. Liang actually gets the kill credit on that one. Inner tower is going to fall in the mid, and that makes it a round 6 for Beyond Gaming. They've secured everything outside of Impunity's base, and they're heading for Drake.
A little bit of desperation from Impunity, not the target that they wanted to commit upon. They go straight for the Leona, but Kino is able to get that W on, and with the extra resistances, just survives for way too long there. We'll watch this again. I'm very surprised that they actually fully committed to this one, as Kralix walks right into auto attack range from Waco. Minji and Liang both in position to pick up those kills, and you know, the good attempt, I would say, but they once the targets wasn't really there for them, I don't think they should have committed for the Kino pick.
No, they didn't even get it to. So insult on top of injury, he doesn't even burn his flash. He soaks damage for days while his team just tags their way in. And again, Minji, Waco just looking so good. They can threaten wherever they want, the high mobility. But it's really Liang that is the one that's getting a lot of these cleanups on the kills. He just dishes so much damage that Eclipse really putting in the extra work in addition to his other items. All that lethality on the Jace is just so deadly because they can burst out these squishier members. There really isn't a true tank outside the Rise, and he's only got 2 items, Clemens, so this is a team that's not all that big.
Yeah, and I think Faith actually made the right call here. The team's actually lacking damage at this point, so he needs to get a little bit more oomph to punish 1-3-1s, find collapses, and Impunity are still trying. Credit where credit is due. This is exactly the play that they need to do right now. Hope someone just wanders into the bot side and catch them out. They don't really have a good chance of defending this Baron anyway. But Beyond Gaming, they will call off the bot lane bluff, and
oh no, Taco is going to be trying to get over the pit a little bit too late, and that's going to be a kill fed right over to Wako, who has a dominating streak, 15-5 at 25 minutes. Beyond Gaming get themselves a Baron buff, and Quiet can't even herd those minions into the base while that's all happening. It's a massive lead for Megabank Beyond Gaming.
Certainly is here, and we could be seeing some attempts.
Okay, they got a 2-on-1, but Liang is still able to flash to safety. Oh dear, it's just nothing's working out right now. Minji goes into stasis. They will be able to find him for a second, but just not enough to burst. And look who's tagging in. It's Wako. Minji comes right back, and it just looks so beautiful. Absolute ninja skills on those fingers. Getting back in, getting the kills as well. Wako cleaning them up, and that's going to be inhibitor number 1 here. You have to think there's more coming, as Impunity are running out of members fast.
Yeah, that's the thing about support Vigar. If you don't have a good early game, you don't really get any stacks, and you could see that there wasn't enough burst damage to take down the Akali. Beyond Gaming are just streaming forward to close this one off cleanly.
Having a little bit of fun with it. Taco comes up, Taco goes down. Quiet walks it out back to his own fountain as Kralix comes up with the teleport coming through. They're just going to finish it right here, right now, looking for that final kill and looking for that final Nexus turret. Quiet and Blaze still trying to defend. That Jinx is still a threat to be reckoned with, but not when everybody else is there. They don't even need to step up to the fountain to secure the ace and take the base for game number 1.
Super clean game coming.